Okay, so for a size comparison, here's my newly unboxed Kobra 3 V2 next to the Kobra 3 Max, and this really does demonstrate the size difference between these machines. Way bigger. So I've cleared some space on this desk, or some space. What I'll end up doing is just pushing that down there, and there should be enough space on the side here to put the two Ace Pro units alongside this one. And my plan is to use those two overhead mounts to mount the Ace Pro units for this one and put them in at the side there. And then this one is going to take this big overhead mount. You can see the size of that. That thing can sit two Ace Pros on top, and then they will mount above this thing and come off like a big giant wing. That will then clear up the space on the side there, and that's probably where I'm going to end up relocating my Anycubic Kobra. That should fit neatly onto that desk. So yeah, lots of juggling to do. But alright, I've done enough for tonight, so I'm going to wait until the morning, and then I'll set up the Ace Pro units for the V2 and do a test print, and we'll see how things come along. Like I say, one of the first things I want to do is that camera mount, get that sorted, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end up, at least for now, setting it up. I'll put the two Ace Pros side by side here until I can work something out. I'm working on a new spool holder for this one. That's going to go on top of the rail. So then I'm going to take the two off the side, put it on top of the rail, and take the stackable unit that I made for the old Ace Pros, and then probably use them on this. Put them at the side, organize it a bit better if I don't come up with another idea. So anyway, moving on, put this down here with all the parts. So first step, I guess, is going to be to hook up the Ace Pro units. Here's the data cable that came with it. So if you start at the printer, you can't go wrong, because the data cables have different pins on either end. So when you look at the one that was under that flap, you can see it's got 6 holes, and this has got 6 holes on one side, 4 on the other. So put the 6 into the 6. If it'll slot in. And alright, let me rephrase that. Let's put 4. It looked like it was a 6-hole clip, but it's a 4-hole clip. So we put the 4 end in here. There we go. That leaves you with a 6-end clip, a 6-hole clip. And on the back of the Ace Pro unit, there's a 6 and a 4. So now I've got the 6. I found the 6-hole and I'll leg it in there. There we go. So now printer joined to the Ace Pro. Now I'm going to be using 8 colors. So this is where I take the other Ace Pro cable, open it up, and there's one slot left on the back of this, and that's the 4-hole connector. So I'm going to take the 4-hole part of the cable, plug that in there, and then on the final Ace Pro, I'm going to look at the back here. So now I've got a 6 connector that will go into that one. So there we go. That's what I'm talking about, daisy chaining. And you just keep going off each other like that. Well, it will if they ever update the firmware. Hint, hint. Anycubic, yeah, would be nice. Right. So now I've got two of these pros connected with a total of 8 colors. Well, let's go back and look at this hub. So again, came with a 4 filament hub, and I'm going to have 8 tubes, 4 from this one, 4 from that one. That's where this home printed hub comes in handy. As you can see, looking at the top there, 8 holes around the outside, and there's an additional hole in the center if I want to run that extra tube for running stuff from the external spool holder. Now, like I said, what I love about this one is that you can simply unscrew it. So if you get anything jammed in there, with this you've got to put screwdrivers in these little slots to prise the top off. But on this, all you do is unscrew the top. You can look right inside, you can clean out whatever's in there, or see if there is anything jammed in there. You leave all the tubes still connected to that top, and you just screw it shut again. So, but we need to swap these out. So 2 screws there. Let's find out which one fits. This one. So I'm going to undo these 2 screws. And of course, they're nice long screws. Take a few turns. Come on, hit the jam. Right. I'm going to keep that handy because in this new hub, I'm going to be reusing these collets off the top. I'm going to put them in this. So this simply slots in there, right where the other one came from. And then just take the screws, put them back in, tighten it all up. And we have an 8 filament hub. Well, 8 plus 1. Yeah. There we go. That's easy. Like I say, that bit will just simply unscrew, come off. That'll make checking on things a lot easier. As I say, you can prise these collets at the holes and just shove them in this one. And I need to get the other hub off the other printer and prise them out of that one. And I have a single filament hub here, which came with the Kobra 3 Max that was already installed. So I'm going to put that one on the other printer, and that's the one I'm going to use to run stuff off the back spool. So, lucky I had that. Right, so as a result of that, this is something else I've also printed. I said this thing on the side here that we installed for the cable, that only had 4 holes for running the Bowden tubes through. This is one I printed, and this has 8 holes for the Bowden tubes. So this will replace this one. And do that. Pull that out. And put this one in. There we go. And that can clip on the back like the other one did. This little collet rod. And pop in that hole. And I'm going to keep that clip safe. There we go. And we'll just store that one safe for any future use. Okay, power cables. Now, one nice thing about these machines over a lot of other ones I've noticed, there is no switch for changing voltage. You just plug it in and go. Which makes it really handy. So, auto sensing. Nothing extra to worry about. Okay, you need power cables for those. The hell did I do with them? That is one, there's the other. And again, no voltage regulator on these either, so they just simply plug in and go. Okay, Bowden tubes. Nice big pack of 4 in each case. You go through these holes, feed them down. And it doesn't matter what hole you put anything into, okay? Because the Ace Pro will work it out by itself later. So I'm just going to pop one in there, and all you do is push it down, then that thing will hang on to it. And you want to have enough of a bend on this where the filament can have a nice sweeping path with no kinks. And now the attachments on the back of this unit, they have those damn little blue clips. So you've got to tease them out a bit slightly, flick the clip off, which will then disappear somewhere out of sight. Where the hell did that go? Oh, fuck, the whole damn piece came out. That was handy. Spit. Where the heck did you go? Alright. Let me hit pause for a second while I go and hunt down this damn collet. Back again, it was under the printer. So, damn thing. So, pop that back into the hole. Push the tube in as far as it will go. I hate these damn things. Pull out slightly just so that you can get a blue clip onto the end. Oh God, I tell you, whoever designed these damn things needs shooting. There we go. There's one. I'm just going to pop all 3 remaining blue clips off. And feed the rest of these tubes through. Oh boy, my hands are sweating so much I can't even get the tubing. Come on. Oh, you arsewipe. There we go. No, we don't. God, these things are so slippery. You think they're going in, and all they're doing is actually sliding in your fingers. Ow. It's probably because it's one of these home printed things. There's a little bit of plastic in there. And it's catching on. Oh, man, you. Oh, look at that. The other side just flies through. Let's see. One end in there. Try and get them to be a similar length as they come through. This one can go into the second hole. Put the clip on it. That's two down. Alright, so you don't have to watch me curse and swear fitting the other ones. I'm going to cut you off here and just insert the tubes. Right, so back again, just the video. So, easiest setup I've seen because I already had an existing account. I basically ran the app on my phone, scanned the QR code, and it says added printer. This thing loaded up my account. If you haven't already got an account and you buy one of these things, just download the app from the store, whether it's Apple or Android, install it, create an account. I use the same account as I do for the Anycubic shop. It links to the same thing, and that also gets you onto their STL and file download site. You do everything through one account. So right now it's telling me to enjoy my 3D printing. Well, thank you very much. Now it says, well, insert a USB stick. Don't know why. Let's find my USB stick. Why does it want that? There we go. And it's going to do a self-test. So it's tensioning the belts, sliding the plates around. Let's bring this forward a bit. Okay. Sliding the Z-axis down. And this is one of the things I don't like about this piece on the arm there, is the way that these tubes get bent and twisted, because remember they're going to be having filament feeding through them. Right now, preheating, I'm going to actually slide this over to try and get some of this tangle out of the way and smooth those curves out a bit. Now, of course, one thing you can do as well is simply cut these tubes down to size, get rid of all the extra length, which ends up causing these problems with the curves. But the only problem is, once you cut these tubes, if you relocate your Ace Pros, you're going to be in a bind. You'll have to end up buying new tubes if you move them further away. So still preheating the nozzle there. That's a good sign that the nozzle heats up. And it's going to go into auto leveling. So, yeah, feeling the bed heating up as well, so it's going to let the bed heat and go all the way through. Oh, pizza. Thank you, hon.
And I need help with groceries.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Nice. Right, wiping nozzle. And it's going to go through the bed leveling. While it does that, I'm going to go and grab some groceries. Yeah, don't leave Pirate Bay running when you're filming. You got groceries in the car? Oh, I'll grab them now because I've got that thing filming. Jeez. normally I don't leave the screen up and running. Oh, okay, give me a minute. Let me just finish this. Okay, so resonance detection completed. It's done the vibration compensation. Finish. So that's it. That's it set up. Everything done. Now, of course, the next thing to do would be to set up the filaments in here. But I'm going to go and eat my pizza first, and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, final step is to feed the Ace Pro unit. So both are registering, so that's good. So I've decided I'm going to use PETG in these ones. So I've got a selection of colors. I tend to use one of them for the most popular ones, red, black, white and blue, and then the other ones can go in and I swap them around as I need them. So let's get some colors out here. So this one, G-Tech. G-Tech Grey. Some yellow. Maroon, yellow and orange. Maroon, black. Maroon, green. Maroon, blue. Maroon, red, dark red, and maroon, white. So I need my snippers. Let's do this front one with the more common reels. So start off with white. Big tip with the Ace Pros, find any bent, twisted stuff, cut past it, almost straight across, and then straighten it out a bit with your hands, and then feed it into the hole. You should feel it being pulled. And then if all goes good, it gets fed out the tube towards the print head. Okay. Black, use a razor. Let's find the start of it. The heck is the start of it?
glossy black. Okay, so once again, I'm going to get past where it's bent and twisted, cut it off, straighten it out a bit. That's good. Sure the thing's twisted there. Good. Red. Slips. Straighten it out. Roll those. And when you put these rolls in, do make sure that they are correctly positioned on the rollers. There we go. Slip a bit more off there. There we go. That's better. Alright. That's the first four loaded. I'm going to hit pause for a minute because you really don't need to see me do the same thing again twice. I'll get back to you in a sec.
Okay, so now I've got the filaments.
Now we go to the display and we've got to tell it what we have in each ACE unit. So I'm going to go to the first one here, unit number 1. I'm going to select first spool and it's going to ask for the material, and this is PETG, and then it's going to ask for the colour. And the first one I got there is white. Which I think is there. Okay, let's save that one. Move on to number 2. Again, PETG, colour, and this one is black. Save that one. Next one, PETG, colour, what was it, red. Save. Next one, PETG, okay, colour, blue. Save. Now I can move on to the second ACE Pro at the back. Same thing again, PETG, colour green. PETG, orange. PETG, yellow. And then finally, PETG, and it's a grey. Alright, so that's everything loaded in. Now, time for a benchy. So, let's look at printing. Let's see what we've got. We've got a couple of icons there, one's for the pen, one's for internal memory. There's a test model. Let's just go for the camera mount. I've got to get that done. We'll do the leveling and tell it to print. It's asking for what colour I want it. I'll do it in black. That's the system. And it's off. So simple as that. Now we'll just leave it, keep our fingers crossed, and hope that it prints okay. We'll come back in a minute and look. Okay, so I thought I'd show it, this thing at least starting off, just to see how it goes. You have to excuse me, my microphone ran out of juice. So, I need to recharge that. So hopefully you can hear me okay over the background noise. So it's going into an auto level that can be disabled. Of course, while this is going on, if you remember earlier I mentioned these little ties. So if you want to clean up this mess of tubes, you can use these to hold them together in groups. So it makes them a little neater so they're not just flopping all over the place. And that's it, setting the Z offset. Plate there. It's preheating the nozzle in the bed here. Shouldn't be too long. Okay, it's feeding the black in. Just don't know if we can make it out. There it is going up the tube. Disappearing into my home printed hub. This is where we keep our fingers crossed that it all works. And there's filament purging out. And I've just realised the one thing I'm really going to need, as well as that camera bracket, is a waste collector. You just saw that fly off the side there. Heck, that sounds a bit rough, doesn't it? Not you folks, but that sounds like the nozzle's dragging over the textured plate. Which tells me the Z is way too low. And I don't see anything here for adjusting it. It's just tearing up the bed, so I'm just going to stop that. Yeah, that is, damn it, not my idea of a good first print. Ooh. Yeah, too low, scratching on the bed. Now what we didn't do was a firmware update. So I'm going to hit pause here, and I'm going to go to my PC. I have to get all that PETG off there, that's stuck on, and update the firmware for the machine and see that makes a difference, because that was obviously too low. Right, firmware update time. Okay, so I went over to the PC and it checked the Ace Pros and the printer. There were firmware updates for both of the Ace Pros and for the printer, so it completed them wirelessly. That's just finished. One thing I always do after I do an update is I want to get in there and redo all the calibrations again. Let's see what we've got. Built-in specials, nozzle light, camera light. Where are they? General settings. Device information. It'll be around here somewhere. Print. general settings, device information, customer support. Where are you? Calibrations, here we go. Full calibration. Takes 20 or 30 minutes. Continue. Okay, I'll leave it to it. Alright, so what I've decided to do is, after doing all the firmware updates, I went to go and print that camera mount again, and it was interesting, it wouldn't let me, because the camera mount had been sliced for PLA, and I've loaded PETG, and it wouldn't let me swap to the PETG, just because the G code was designed for PLA. That must be something new to the firmware, because it allowed me to do it before the firmware update. So I guess now it wants to make sure that you match the correct filament to the G code, which is a good thing. So I went to go and print the Benchy, and of course the Benchy was PLA as well, so it wouldn't let me print that either. So went over to the computer, downloaded a STL of the Benchy, sliced it for PETG at a 0.08 layer height, sent it remotely to the printer, and now I'm going to see if this will print out without grinding the head all over the bed. So I decided to go for white this time so I can see it better on the bed, because there's still black PETG clinging to this, which I couldn't get off. It's a nightmare to shift. So there's the white loading. Of course, it's got to go all the way through the tubes. So this might take a few minutes. Oh. Definitely seen the old black coming out there. And there's white following it. Flicks it off. On the plus side, I'm not hearing anything like the previous grinding. So let's see how this works out. So this might be, I see the first layer going in. Kind of hard to see with the light there. The first layer seems to be going down. So the moral of the story is, make sure you do the firmware updates before you start trying to print anything. And yeah, that has obviously made a big difference. So firmware updates, recalibrate, reslice for the material you're using, and print. Right, I'll let this get on with it, and we'll come back and see actually what the print looks like when it's finished.
Alright, so print just finished. So like I said, this was a 0.08 millimeter print on the standard Benchy. Oh, there we go. Let's pull that clear. So, right, let's take a good look at it. And yeah, I've got to say, pretty damn nice. Mark there. Some of that damn black PLA that was on the plate coming off there. Yeah, detail wise, Nice, manage the overhangs. Yeah, I can live with that one. That's a pretty nice Benji. So, so after that firmware update, it is working good. Let's see what I can do with it in the morning. Perhaps print some coasters and give it a test. Meanwhile, I've got the Centuri there working on a waste catcher for it. I guess I could get this thing running the camera case. So, yeah, that might give me something to do, leave it running overnight. Well, all in all, setup went well. Just one thing for everyone to remember, do that firmware update as soon as you switch it on before you try printing. That definitely made a huge difference there. I'll catch you all next time. It's a second test print complete, running off 4 coasters here, 4 tasteful coasters in color. Everything rolled off fine, no problems, quality looks excellent. There's that little boat from earlier. So yeah, we'll call this Kobra 3 V2 setup up and running perfectly. So once again, big reminder for everyone, firmware update as soon as you get it up and running before you start printing. That makes a big difference. Right, catch you later.